Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. Today's video is going to continue my Blu-ray collection video, continuing from the K's onward. Before this video, a few days ago, I did record my last two parts, so you'll probably, when you see this, you'll be seeing this in about 2 weeks from the day of recording this. I'm just trying to keep ahead with the Blu-ray collection so you've got content every week. And the same with the review videos. I've waited until this point because it's been around a month since I last did a review video. So being a month behind gives me time to make the content and then for you to have the content, because I don't have a lot of spare time when I do. It's easy to just make these videos and then schedule them to go up on a certain date. So then you've got stuff. I will also, in the next week, I want to say, do a monthly haul. The reason I'm doing it a bit early is because I haven't ordered anything for the rest of the month. There's, I think, one thing I'm expecting, which I should get from work on Monday, and then once I've got that, I will literally just do everything I've got in February whenever I'm free, probably next weekend, and then get that out. Well, to be honest, it probably more than likely will be the end of the month. More than likely the Saturday or the Sunday, so a little bit early, but at least it'll be out there then. But anyway, I'll get straight on to this video. So first up we have The King of Staten Island. Apologies if there's a bit of a glare. I've already tried sorting out, but the lighting in my room's not very good. I need to invest in some good lighting. Yeah, Judd Apatow film. This is his most recent film. I really liked it. It's a shame that the cinemas were shut when this was released, because I think personally I'd have rather seen it in the cinema and would have preferred them to just delay it, because it is a really good time, fun film and just enjoyable. And then we have Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and I was alluding to my favourite Robert Downey Jr. film. I think it was the previous video when I was talking about The Judge. I think it was the previous video. I'm second guessing myself now. No, it was the previous video, sorry. Saying that's one of my favourites. This is my favourite Robert Downey Jr. film. It's Shane Black. I love this. I love The Nice Guys, which I still haven't got yet. I just think this is a great film. I rewatched this quite a lot because I just really like it. It's my type of humour, really, and it's a good PI film as well, much like The Nice Guys. And yeah, enjoyable. Definitely recommend that if you're into those types of films. Next up we have Night and Day with Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz. Been a while since I watched this, but I like Tom Cruise. Watch pretty much anything he's in. It's directed by James Mangold. Yeah, so yeah, pretty good film. And then we have Knives Out, one of my favourite films of 2019. Really looking forward to the second one later in the year. Great ensemble cast, obviously led by Daniel Craig. Really good whodunit with a good twist at the end as well. Then we have another Judd Apatow film, Knocked Up, second favourite. As I've probably said on the channel before, his films for me, they don't get worse, but my favourite is The 40-Year-Old Virgin, followed by this, and then my least favourite would be The King of Staten Island, but that is still a solid 4-star film to me because I love all of his films. But this is great. Seth Rogen, Katherine Heigl, really funny film. Even got Harold Ramis in there. I think he plays his dad. Then we have The Lady in the Van. I went to the cinema to see this. I like anything with Maggie Smith in. I thought this was good. It wasn't great, but I got it because it was in Poundland a long time ago. One of my first Blu-rays, I would have thought. Give it another go at some point. Don't know when. I've had it for a while now, but I will give it another go at some point. Then we have Knowing. For some reason the lady in the van is in the wrong place. Nicolas Cage film, probably his last really good film that I've seen personally. Like an end of the world horror thriller film, like about premonitions sort of, and it's all about Nicolas Cage's character, who's like I don't remember really, but it might be something. I think it's something to do with a young boy, or something like that, that can is somehow knows what's going to happen in the future. Something along those lines. It's been a while since I watched it, but I remember it being good, so happy to have that. Then we have The Lake House with Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves. I like any romantic dramas. I really enjoyed this one. Bit of a different type of film. Got good ending, and yeah, overall really enjoyable. I need to turn these the other way around. Bear with me 2 seconds. Next up we have The Last Boy Scout. I was expecting this to actually be better than it was. It's written by Shane Black, directed by Tony Scott, it's Bruce Willis, Damon Wayans. But I thought it was just okay. It wasn't anything special. It was a very average 90s action. It's definitely watchable. It's definitely a fun film, but it's nothing special. It's like trying to be a mix between the Die Hard films and the Lethal Weapon films. Obviously, Die Hard, Bruce Willis was in, and Damon Wayans was in the TV show The Lethal Weapon. But it kind of fails. It's fun though, like I say, so yeah, I'll watch it again. Then we have The Last Castle, probably my favourite Robert Redford film, favourite James Gandolfini film, favourite prison film probably. Yes, that's right, even better than The Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption, which are fantastic films. This is just a phenomenal film, I would say. It's about this basically general that is like sentenced to prison for like a war crime. He basically ordered, I think he ordered fire among like this troop or something that he wasn't supposed to, even though he is a war hero. And it's about the prison warden that's basically tyrannical and is trying to control everyone, and Robert Redford's not having any of it, so he fights up, and I think it's just a fantastic prison film. And when they said that this was coming to Blu-ray, I think it was like just in time for my birthday last year, I was so happy. And then as soon as this came out, it was announced that The General's Daughter was coming on Blu-ray. I was like, well, that's it, all my dreams are coming true. Those were two of my most wanted Blu-ray releases because those are two of my favourite films. So yeah, very happy to have that in the collection. Then we have Last Christmas. Yeah, it's a good one. Each time I rewatch it, I kind of like it less and less. But it's a fun watch. It's a nice Christmas watch. It could have been a lot better. The twist, once you've seen it once, you can see it coming every time after that. And it does kind of take a bit of enjoyment away from it. But in terms of Christmas films, it could be worse. It is middle of the road, I'd say. It's enjoyable. So yeah, that's Last Christmas. Next up we have a newer release, and that is The Last Duel. Ridley Scott film, his second to last one. He had two last year. I will be getting House of Gucci, probably not until next month though. Yeah, Jodie Comer is absolutely fantastic in this film. Matt Damon is as well, Adam Driver, got Ben Affleck as well. First film to be written by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck since Good Will Hunting. Very underrated, I'd say this is. It didn't make a lot of money when it was at the cinema because not a lot of people went to see it, but highly underrated film. Definitely go and check it out if you haven't seen it. And then another new release from last year, and that is The Last Letter from Your Lover. This was good. I believe it came out on Netflix in America. It did get a cinema release here, but I missed it at the cinema. But I did manage to watch it afterwards. Yeah, it's a good British romantic drama set in two times, set in the 60s and in the present, and about these letters that have been found by this journalist between these two lovers back in the 60s, and they're trying to piece together what happened between them. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Definitely give it a watch again. Yeah. And then we have one of my second favourite, I want to say, Tom Cruise film, my favourite war film, The Last Samurai. Loved this. American Civil War, about a soldier that ends up turning sides and helping the samurai, becomes one of the last samurai. and has a fantastic last 30 minutes, fantastic battle scene. Highly recommend this film. As I say, it's my favourite war film, and not really talked about when you talk about war films, but it is, as I say, really enjoyable film. And then we have Law Abiding Citizen. Yeah, this is quite a dark film, very violent, very brutal, I would use that word. It's basically about this man, I think he's just a family man, and his wife and daughter are basically raped and killed in front of him, and he can't do anything about it. And then years later, he comes out of the blue, out of nowhere, and all these bad people that had something to do with this, like whether it was like the judge or the people that were being prosecuted, they end up turning up dead and having been tortured and killed in brutal ways. And Jamie Foxx plays, like, I think he's like the lawyer. Yeah, he's a prosecutor, and he's basically got to try and find out why he's doing this, how he's doing this, because he does, even though he does get caught. I'm not going to go into any further, but it's a really good film. Highly recommend that one. All of these are really good films, that's why they're in my collection, obviously. This next one, some consider to be one of the best films of all time. I really enjoyed it. It's a bit too long for me. I will watch it again at some point, but as I say, it's rather long. But that is Lawrence of Arabia, with Peter O'Toole and Omar Sharif and Alec Guinness. Yeah, love this film. As I say, it's not quite up there with some people, but I think it's shot beautifully. Great story, but it's about an hour too long, if you ask me. But hey, it's still a great film. Then we have the Lego Batman movie. Really good follow-up to the Lego movie. Great spin-off Lego film. Enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would. Would like to get that on 4K. I did have the second Lego movie, but for some reason it's not here anymore. Whether I got rid of it or not, I don't know, but not because I didn't like it. Then we have Les Miserables. Good film, good musical. I wouldn't say it's one of the best modern musicals. For me personally, I mean, some probably would consider it to be, but it's a good film. I do like it. I like the music in it. But yeah, it could be better, I think. And then we have Let Him Go. Good, like, revenge type thriller with Kevin Costner and Diane Lane, where they got to try and get their grandson back from these horrible people, basically. I think it's set in like the 60s. It's got a very 60s tone to it. So I would say it's like 60s, 70s it's set in. But they don't actually make it clear when it's set, I don't think, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, it's still a really good film. And then we have Le Mans 66, which I need to get on 4K. Really good film. I've seen this a few times now. Great true story. Again, another James Mangold film. Written by Jez Butterworth, who's wrote the new Indiana Jones film, which has been directed by James Mangold. So yeah, definitely recommend that, especially if you're into like your racing, because it's a really good racing film. Right. Then we have Let's Be Cops. All that I can really say about this is it's a fun comedy for 90 minutes. So yeah, there's that. Then we have License to Wed. Again, it's Robin Williams, which is why I bought it. But it's nothing special. It's fun, it's good, it's quite generic. There are some funny bits in it, excuse me. But yeah, it may be just a one-time watch. I don't know. I may watch it again. Not 100% certain. It may not. I am going to do a purge at some point, so it may not survive that purge. We should just have to see. I'm going to pull this curtain a bit, see if that's any better. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Then we have Life as We Know It, which is a really underrated. I want to say it's like a cross between a romantic comedy and a romantic drama, because it's more of a romantic comedy, but there are a lot of drama elements to it. It's basically the story's about these two people that are like godparents to this little, I think it's a girl. Yeah, it looks like a girl to me. And her parents are killed in a car crash, and these two, who went on a date once and didn't get along, are basically brought together, and they've got to raise this baby together on their own. And it's just a really heartwarming film. I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, and it's got an early appearance from Melissa McCarthy, who has quite a good part in it. So, but yeah, that is Life as We Know It. Next we have Monty Python's Life of Brian, great British classic. I know a lot of people don't like the Monty Python stuff. This is the only Monty Python thing I've seen, but I really liked it, so I had to get it on Blu-ray. Yeah, just a classic to me, really. Got some really good lines in it as well. Just need to take a drink a second. Next up we have Life of Pi. Really good, visually stunning film. I definitely need to upgrade this to 4K because I'm sure this will look stunning on 4K, even more so than it does on Blu-ray. Great story, quite hard to watch it sometimes, but yeah, I really liked it. Then we have Little Fockers. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the first two on Blu-ray because I believe you can only get them like in a pack, the three of them together, and it's out of print, so it's really expensive. So I've only got the other two on DVD, but I love the films. This is good, a good sequel, good last one. I don't think they do another one now. And it's just got great cast. You've got Robert De Niro, Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, Jessica Alba's in this one, Dustin Hoffman, Barbara Streisand, Blythe Danner. Did I say? Yeah, I said Owen Wilson. Laura Dern, Harvey Keitel, Kevin Hart's in this one as well. And yeah, it's just a fun film, fun comedy. So yeah, I recommend that. There's a really bad glare on that, so I do apologise. And then we have The Little Things, which came out the start of last year. Most people didn't seem to like this, but these are my types of films. I like these types of films. Yeah, the ending was a bit left up in the air, shall we say, and left for you to decide, but I like that. I did think the acting was pretty good. I just like the story and the atmosphere of the film. I can definitely see why people were disappointed with this and didn't like it, but me, myself, I did enjoy it because of the type of film it was. So for that reason, if you've not seen it, I am going to recommend it to you. But I will say, you may not like it, but if these types of films you are interested in, then definitely go for it. Then we have Little Miss Sunshine, probably Steve Carell's best performance in a film. Not his best film. I still think his best film is probably The 40-Year-Old Virgin, but I think this is his best performance in a film. This also stars Greg Kinnear, Toni Collette, Paul Dano, Abigail Breslin, and Alan Arkin. And it's like a black comedy, I would say, because there are funny bits in it, but it is quite dark for a comedy. It's about a dysfunctional family that basically just get in their little RV to take the youngest daughter, the only daughter I should say, to like the Little Miss Sunshine pageant, because that's what she wants to do. So yeah, it's a fun film. Then we have Little Women, which was my favourite film from 2019. I didn't actually see this until like halfway through 2020 because at first I wasn't really interested in it, but I picked it up like for £3 or £4 on Blu-ray online with a slipcover, and one afternoon just decided to put it on, and I absolutely loved it. It's just a lovely film. That's all I can say. It's a lovely film. There's no villains in it. It's a nice story, great acting. I know a lot of people probably prefer the 90s one, but I've not seen that, and because I've seen this, I will probably prefer this one, because that's usually the way it goes. The one that you watched first, you like the most. Not all the time, but that's generally how it goes. But yeah, really like Little Women. And then we have Love Actually, great Christmas film. Try and watch this every year. Yeah, great British film as well. Richard Curtis, who is a great writer and director when he does direct. Yeah, that's all I can say about that one. Then we have Love and Mercy, which is about Brian Wilson, who was the lead of the Beach Boys, and it goes backwards and forwards between his time when he was a part of the Beach Boys, and then it goes to the late 80s when he's really struggling with his schizophrenia, and he's being controlled by this man who's his carer, but he's fallen in love at the same time, and it's just a really good film. John Cusack, probably the best performance I've seen him in. And it's just interesting because I do like the music of the Beach Boys, and I didn't know anything about them before, so watching this now I do, and as I say, it is a really interesting film. And then we have Love and Other Drugs. Jake Gyllenhaal, my favourite actor, with Anne Hathaway. It's just really good, really funny film about this drugs rep who is a drugs rep for Viagra. I think it's back in the 90s if I remember, and he meets this woman who's like completely different to him, but they fall in love, but it's like a no strings attached type of thing. They mainly just meet up for hookups, but they both kind of want more from each other. But yeah, I really enjoy it. I think it's a really good film. And then we have The Lovely Bones. This is a really good film. Peter Jackson directed it. I think he wrote it as well. But it is very difficult to watch because it's basically about this young girl who is basically murdered. Basically, that is it. And it's about her ghost trying to tell her family, trying to help her family solve her murder, basically. And it's very dark. The cinematography is great. Stanley Tucci, I believe this is his best performance aside from Supernova, which will be probably in the next video or the video after that. It is a fantastic film. Mark Wahlberg is fantastic in this as well. So is Saoirse Ronan. This is one of her first films. But yeah, highly recommend it. It's a really good film. Then we have The Love Punch, which is Emma Thompson and Pierce Brosnan. This has also got Timothy Spall and Celia Imrie, and it just cracks me up, this film. It's not probably a great film, but I really love the film. There are multiple moments that just make me really laugh. Timothy Spall is fantastic in this film. And yeah, it's just a really enjoyable comedy. Then we have Love Story. Yeah, this is a really good classic film with Ali McGraw and Ryan O'Neal in. Yeah, it's paved the way for many films that have been inspired by this, much like a lot of films from the 70s did. When did this come out? I'm just trying to say. I want to say it's, yeah, 1970 this came out. Yeah, I really like this film. I only watched it for the first time last year, and then it got like a re-release on Blu-ray, and I picked it up start of this year. Can't wait to watch it again. Really enjoyed that. Trying to make sure that the pile don't fall over. What's this one? I'm trying to go by the back cover, but sometimes I can't. Magnolia. One of my favourite films of all time. Probably my second favourite PTA film. Just a great ensemble of characters, and it is a character-based film. It is about these characters and how they're all linked, and each of their stories, and it's just really good. I mean, I could rattle the cast off. You've got John C. Reilly, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, William H. Macy, Tom Cruise, Julianne Moore, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Jason Robards, I think, yeah, he's in it, Alfred Molina, Philip Baker Hall. Yeah, it's just loads of people in this, and as I say, fantastic film. Tom Cruise won a Golden Globe for this film. Highly recommend it if you've not seen it. And then we have The Majestic, which is one of my favourite Jim Carrey films, directed by Frank Darabont, who did The Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile. basically, if you're a fan of cinema, I urge you to watch this if you haven't. It's about this screenwriter, Hollywood screenwriter in like early 50s, after Hollywood, post-war, should I say. And he is basically fed up with his life, and one day, I think he drives off of this bridge into the river, wakes up on this beach, and he can't remember anything about himself, and he wakes up in this small town, and they all think that he is one of the only soldier to come back from the war after all these years. Obviously he's not, but they all believe he is, and because he's come back, it gives this village, this like town, hope again, and they reopen the cinema, which I say his father, but it's not actually his father, owns, and they start showing old films again, and it's just a love letter to like Hollywood, and Jim Carrey is fantastic in this film, and if you've not seen it, go and watch it. I got the imported Blu-ray from America because I love it so much. I did have it on DVD, but yeah, definitely give that a watch. It's a fantastic film. Then we have Mamma Mia. Not much I can say. It's a musical. I like musicals. And then we have The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which is a pretty fun spy thriller Guy Ritchie film. Moving on to the last pile for this video, we have Mannequin, my first imported Blu-ray I got. Just one of my like cheesy guilty pleasures. Just love this film. Great comedy, very rewatchable, and it's got my favourite song of all time in as well, so that as well. Next up we have Man on Fire, probably my favourite Denzel Washington film. He is fantastic in this film. The film is fantastic. It's just got a great ending, a great story, really powerful, like a revenge thriller with action. Fantastic, probably the best Tony Scott film as well. So yeah, highly recommend that one. Then we have Marmaduke, which I got because I watched a lot when I was younger and I hadn't seen it for years and decided I wanted to watch it again. So I don't know whether I like it. I mean, it's the voice of Owen Wilson, so there probably is a lot of wows in it. Then we have The Martian, probably my favourite space film, maybe my favourite Matt Damon film possibly. Love this film, got a great cast, great story. Hesitated watching this for years, but decided I would finally check it out, and I did, and as I say, I loved it. Can't wait to get the extended cut on 4K at some point. Then we have Matilda, another one of my childhood favourites. I watched this for the first time in ages, towards the end of last year. Still love it. Just a fantastic, really rewatchable film. Then we have, I'll show these together, the Matrix sequels, Reloaded and Revolutions. This one's okay, not on the same level as the first one, but it's still entertaining, and this one was bad, pretty bad, but I needed to get them to complete the Matrix franchise because I didn't want to get them on 4K, but I'd already had the first one on 4K. Then we have Me Before You, highly underrated British romantic drama. Not going to say too much about the story of this. All I'll say is if you're a fan of romantic dramas and you've not seen this one, definitely go and check it out. Very good film. Then we have Meet Me in St. Louis, Judy Garland, really good film. One of the only films from the 40s I've seen, and I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was just a lovely, heartwarming, timeless film, really. And one that I would gladly rewatch again. And then we have Men in Black International. I don't know where my other Men in Black films are. I think they're in. I got a rewatch pile up there somewhere, so they're probably in there, to be honest, because I've not seen them in years and years. But I saw this at the cinema. Would have preferred if Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones came back, but Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson were decent. You had Liam Neeson in there as well, Emma Thompson. It was a decent film. Two more. Next we have The Men Who Stare at Goats. Really underrated George Clooney film. You've also got Jeff Bridges, Ewan McGregor, and Kevin Spacey. Based on a crazy true story. quite a short film, but if you've not seen it and you're interested in true stories, you like the cast, it's a dark comedy, I would say, and it's just a great film, I think. And then the final one for this video is Military Wives. I got this cheap, not one I'm likely to rewatch again. It was good for a one-time watch. I'd say it's a solid 3 stars, but it's not that rewatchable, if you ask me personally. We shall see in a few years' time. So that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a like. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and turn your notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded onto the channel. Comment down below anything and everything. I get back to anyone that takes the time to leave me a comment. What ones of these have you seen? What ones have you not seen that you are now interested in seeing? Let me know everything down below. I'll try and do another video now. I might need a break because I've been going and talking. Sometimes makes my nose get blocked for some reason and my nose starts running. Just happens for some reason, so I will give a break and then I'll continue hopefully. But that is it. So until next time everyone, take care, goodbye.